Hello, and welcome to the Long Island Weather Update on this 10th of January 2024 as we try to dry out from all the rain and try to clear out. We've had a lot of clouds around today. We had the little bit of sun and the clouds built up. You can see kind of in a cyclonic flow here with a decent amount of cloud cover today. And there's been a lot of flooding in a lot of areas, and obviously what I have to show you is not nearly as bad as a lot of other areas, but I will show you the Carls River in Babylon. I do have a video of it as well. You can see how high it is here. So this is normally just a little stream. And you can see it's pretty much a raging river at this point, and it did overflow its banks and cause flooding in the area. Again, we had a lot of these clouds around today. And tonight I actually was back in Babylon to take some pictures of the river at night. And you can see it looks kind of pretty there at night, but you can still see very high. Maybe it's come down a little bit, but still very high. Very high water along this river here. Very high. Normally it doesn't look like this at all. Yeah, very high water. Not doesn't normally look like this. And then just a few more breaks in the sky tonight. Seeing some stars come out. That's from Deer Park before I got on the train. So let's go over the latest storm damage here. We got a lot to go over here, and we got another storm to deal with. So we're gonna go through the rainfall reports, the wind reports, and the storm reports. And you can see a lot of flood warnings along the rivers inland, and we got coastal flood watches, and there's been a lot of very bad flooding along the South Shore, which, of course, South Shore 12 has done an excellent job covering. They haven't really covered much of anything else that's happened from the storm, but there's been a lot of flooding on the South Shore. So let's first go, I guess we'll go from top to bottom here. So latest wind reports. So we'll go look at these wind reports first of all, and I'll make this a little larger here. Let's see if we can do that. No, it's not what we need to do. We need to make it larger, as you can see. All right, so here we go. Here are your wind reports here. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Stamford, Connecticut. 65 miles an hour in Hammonson, which is in New Haven County. 56-mile-an-hour wind gust at New Groton Airport. In New Jersey, Teterboro gusted to 55. I'm not going to read over all of these. I'll only read the higher ones. Great Neck had a wind gust of 59 miles an hour. Belmore gusted to 52. Midtown Manhattan had a gust of 55. In Queens, Kew Gardens Hills gusted to 61. JFK Airport gusted to 54 miles an hour. Staten Island gusted to 51 miles an hour. Suffolk County, Great Gull Island, 64-mile-an-hour wind gust. Orient, 63-mile-an-hour wind gust. Shirley, 63-mile-an-hour wind gust. Farmingdale, almost 60 miles an hour, gusted to 59. And Napier gusted to 59. Islip Airport gusted to 58. Going down the list here, we got some maritime stations here. 57 miles an hour at Stonington Outer Breakwater in Connecticut. And we got a few more maritime stations. Larchmont Harbor gusted to 64. Fire Island Coast Guard gusted to 60. So yeah, maybe not quite 70 miles an hour, but still had a lot of significant wind gusts here. And I think Montauk actually, which they're not even bringing up here, it's not on the list, but Montauk gusted to over 70 miles an hour. For some reason, it's not on the list. I don't know. Maybe they haven't released, but News 12 had Montauk gusting to over 70 miles an hour. So let's go to the rainfall reports next. All right, so here are the rainfall reports, and again, I'll make this a little larger and look at some of these rainfall amounts in Connecticut. Overperformed. Oh, here we go again. The smoke alarm's going off. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'll just keep going. This is just my lovely inconsiderate neighbors setting off the smoke alarm again. They actually set it off 2 in the morning. But anyway, look at these rainfall amounts here. Fairfield County, Ridgefield, 4.77 inches. Shelton, 4.39 inches. Fairfield County really, the northern part of Fairfield County really got a lot of rain here. 3.80. Danbury, 3.76. That's a month's worth of precipitation. And that's absolutely insane right there. Absolutely insane. Connecticut, also parts of Middlesex County, 4.36. And these are areas that had a snowpack, so they're experiencing absolutely disastrous flooding. Saybrook Manor, 3.28. New Haven County, Seymour. Again, I believe this is northern New Haven County. 4.56 inches of rain. Hamden, 4.50. Waterbury, 4.42. These areas in Connecticut really just got pounded. Look at these amounts of rainfall. This is, incredible stuff that we're seeing here. New London County, look at Norwich, 4.51 inches. I mean, these are incredible numbers to see, really incredible. Bergen County, 3.34 inches in Oakland. This is New Jersey now, all right? So lots of parts of Bergen County. New Milford, 2.90 inches. Teterboro, 2.67. All right, it's not as bad as you head further closer to the city. New Jersey, here we go. Again, Essex County, Essex Fells, 3.87. These are the areas that are having some pretty bad flooding. Caldwell, 3.23 inches. Montclair, 2.45 inches. And Passaic County. These are the last places that we need more rain in. 4.40 inches of rain at the Oak Ridge Reservoir. West Milford, 4.39 inches. Incredible just going through all these numbers. Union County, you have Bayside, 3.61. Mountainside, 3.28. Summit, 2.67. In the Bronx, 2.79, which doesn't seem so bad in comparison. Brooklyn College, 2.34. Nassau County, the highest amount we have here is 2.82 in North Massapequa. Massapequa Park, 2.74. Belmore, 2.66. So toward the southeastern part of the county, I think they tended to get a little more rain. In Manhattan, Midtown, or Central Park only recorded 1.95. But here we go, another hard-hit area, Orange County. These are the inland areas got it worse. They got more rain because of the uplift. There was an enhanced uplift because you have that screaming south-southeast wind and then hitting the mountains and having to rise up even higher. That enhanced the precipitation on top of the snowfall that they had. So 4.17, 4.11, and Cornwall and Hudson. Just incredible amounts of rain. Putnam County, Garrison, 3.30 inches. In Queens, Ozone Park at 2.71. Staten Island, College of Staten Island, 2.34. In Rockland County, another hard-hit area. Spring Valley, 4.52. Pomona, 4.30. Stony Point, 3.97. New City got 3.27. Suffolk County, Southold, 3.44 inches. Quorum, 3.40. So Suffolk County got more rain, too, because that line that we experienced that in Mineola, it moved through here pretty quick. But once it got to Suffolk, it started slowing down. And so the heavy rain sat over these areas longer. Smithtown, 3.40. Miller Place, 3.21. Center Reach, 3.18. Let's see if we can find something in the Pine Barrens here. West Hampton Airport, 3.11 inches. That's a lot. Those lakes should be filled up after this. Sayville, 2.93 inches. Deer Park, 2.82 inches. The airport got 2.80 inches. Islip. And Upton got 2.58 inches. Ridge is reporting 2.44 inches. Just a lot of rainfall reports here to look at. Westchester, 4.12 inches here at South Salem. Tarrytown, 3.50 inches. And I'll provide links to all of this again. Now we go to the local storm reports as well. So let's do that. Local storm reports. This is going to report all the flooding that's been going on. So coastal flood in Amityville, flooding in Babylon, flooding in Baldwin Harbor, businesses flooding in Freeport on Woodcleft, a 59-mile-an-hour wind gust in Bayside, Nassau County at a buoy. I think is that Queens. This is a Kings Point buoy. Coastal flood in Belmore Road and surrounding roads impassable. A flood in Bethel, Connecticut. Barricades have washed away near Eagle Road and Newton Road. 4 cars are trapped with occupants. A non-thunderstorm wind damage at Tree Down, road closure, US 9. Briarcliff Manor, Tree Down. Bronxville, a flood being reported there. Flooding, road closure, Bronx River Parkway. Wind damage in Centerport. Large limb landing on cars. Channel 12 covered none of this stuff, by the way, that happened inland with the tree damage. Non-thunderstorm wind damage in Middlesex County. Tree down on wires. Several roads across Danbury closed with flooding. Flooding in Dobbs Ferry. Flooding in Middlesex, Connecticut. Tree down. All lanes of New York 27 at David's Lane in East Hampton blocked by a tree. Flooding in East Massapequa. Waterview Avenue, flooding on NJ20. I can't go over all these. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust at Taptree State Park. Downtree on US 1 and 9 in Fort Lee. All lanes closed. New London, Connecticut. Route 97 closed. At River Street, water over the road. Significant inundation. And Freeport along Woodcleft Canal. Closed due to flooding in Fairfield County. Coastal flooded Gilgo State Park. South Bay Drive flooded with significant inundation. Long Island Railroad service suspended in Glen Cove due to down power lines. And video shows a fire from the down lines. We'll have to see if we can find that video. You think News 12 would have it. No, they're only focused on the South Shore. The 64-mile-an-hour wind gust on Plum Island. Flooding and road closure on Springbrook Parkway northbound east of Jackson Avenue. All lanes closed. 65-mile-an-hour wind gust in Madison, New Haven County, Connecticut. Downtree on Southern State Parkway in South Hempstead. I could go on and on with these reports. 58-mile-an-hour wind gust at Islip. 61-mile-an-hour wind gust at Fresh Meadows. Flash flood in Lake Success. Horace Harding Expressway Service Road closed due to flooding. Again, we had flooding inland, too, due to the heavy rain. Did the News 12 cover it? No. They're going to get called out in a separate video. I called them out once, but I'm going to call them out again. A flash flood in Manhasset. Marcus Avenue closed due to flooding. Down power pole in Manorville on Captain Daniel Rowe Highway. Flash flood in Massapequa. Block Boulevard closed due to flooding. Coastal flood in Mastic. Coastal flood in Downtree. We keep going down the list here. It's just incredible here. Wordle toppled over the road in Naugatuck, Connecticut. Damage to Chimney Dome. Water rescues performed at Domino's Pizza and other businesses along New London Turnpike in Connecticut because of the Yantic River in Mystic. That river is flooding as well. Water into homes and businesses on Seaview Avenue and Fire Island. Coastal flood in Ocean Beach. Widespread inundation on Fire Island along the coast bordering the Great South Bay. PSE&G substation lost power due to the breach being underwater. So they had a breach, and the Fire Island has gotten hit very hard. DOT flooding in Orange and Rockland. We could go on and on here. This just goes on and on. Coastal flooding. I'll provide the links to all of this with you here, to all these reports here. But really, just incredible to see all this damage. And this just covers Upton. This doesn't even talk about the damage that occurred in Jersey. They've also had a lot of flooding there as well. Of course, Philadelphia does not have the storm reports out on their website. So let's go to Text Products here, and we'll get some of these storm reports as well from them as well. Let's see. So these are this is some of the storm reports here. We'll go over just the ones from New Jersey here. Let's see if we can find here. Talking about some of the flooding going on here. Just rainfalls, I guess. They don't want to have a storm report, but I could tell you they got hit very hard in Jersey as well. Very hard as well. They have gotten a lot of flooding in places like Mantaloking and along the shore there, in places like Deal and stuff like that. They got a lot of flooding, and flooding inland as well in Jersey as well. So you can see we have a number of flood warnings out right now along these rivers. Let's go to the rivers and lakes data view right now. Data viewer here, and you can see, look at all the red that we have on this map here. So there's a lot of red here. A lot of rivers are flooding. And you can see a number of these along New Jersey also. Barnegat Bay, we have tremendous flooding here as well. You can see it actually went to moderate. Looks like it's coming down now. They reached moderate flooding because you have the water being pushed in from the sea, and then the rivers with all the rainfall, they back up. They can't empty the water because of the water coming in from the sea. So you can see a lot of flooding here. Barnegat Bay, working our way up into New Jersey. Millstone River, really, really high. Moderate flood stage. Some of these hit major flood stage. The Raritan River and Bound Brook. Millstone River in Georgetown, that hit major flood stage. We got flooding on the Passaic. That's not going to crest until tomorrow. Flooding Little Falls. A lot of these rivers aren't going to crest until tomorrow. Pompton River, really incredible amounts of flooding here. And then we go inland, and we also have into Connecticut, Housatonic River also flooding. And these are some of the Wood River, and that's in major flood stage right now. The Pawcatucket Westerly, the Yantic River. This was another one that went way above flood stage. In fact, close to record levels on that river, and a dam broke on that river as well. So these are the kind of river floodings that we have on Long Island right now. Great South Bay at Watch Hill. That went to major as well. In fact, that went to major this morning. That inundated Fire Island as well. So really just incredible stuff that's happened across Long Island. Incredible damage across the entire area from this storm. And we got another one that we got to watch out for here. So it's really incredible because we got another strong system with the full briefing that I'm going to get into a little more tomorrow night, I think. We're just spending time talking about the storm that we just had. And then we got to focus on another storm, which is really crazy. But I'll briefly go over this briefing here, the strong storm system. So another coastal flood, more flooding in the rivers again. Basically a repeat performance here with the heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches locally higher possible. This is going to be between 7 p.m. Friday evening and 8 a.m. Saturday. And this is their rain forecast. Not as bad with the rain, but we still got to watch out for these rivers in Jersey. In Connecticut, and and coastal flooding, and the winds as well. It's the same thing, same kind of maps you went over the last time, and I'll go over a little more in detail for tomorrow. Let's just go and take a look at some of the images here. We'll just put Fire Island in here and all. Fire Island ferries, by the way, is suspended, I believe, due to this flooding. Let's see if they are. I think they are. Yes, it's going to resume tomorrow. They say. So there was flooding at the terminal, flooding all over Fire Island. It was a big mess, and just really we go to Fire Island here. We'll just Fire Island hit news here. Worse than Sandy. Fire Island is devastated, and this is what's happened here to Fire Island. And the damage has been, there's been a lot of damage and flooding there. Fire Island Pines has been very affected. Dunes are completely gone. Flooding, and this is just devastating flooding that's happened. Here's Fire Island ferries here. This is their waiting terminal in Bayshore, underwater, completely underwater from this. So really, just incredible damage that we've seen along the South Shore. And they even had to turn the power off at a substation because of flooding to prevent damage. So this is the kind of thing that. Just devastating, worse than Sandy, and it's gonna keep getting worse. Sandy wasn't the big one. That's the thing. People think it was, but it really wasn't. So let's talk about our current conditions outside right now. You can see we'll have fair weather, little trough moving through right now. Here's our next storm already in the west. Looking at the satellite, let's go to the CONUS view so we can take a look and show you where our next storm is, because this is it right here. This is the next storm that we're going to have to deal with. Going to the weather and hazards map, you can see all the winter weather advisories from the storm again. And our area is still dealing with, again, numerous flood advisories and in certain areas here. The other thing we got to talk about, how can I forget power outages too? Let's do that. Poweroutage.us, we'll just go to this map here. New Jersey's down to 15,743. Looks like there are only 237 in Ocean. Monmouth still is 1,436. Hunterdon and Salem County still seem to have the most outages right now in New Jersey. Oddly enough, Connecticut not seeing many outages. They escaped the wind, but they had to deal with a lot of the rain. New York, let's see. Suffolk's got 604. Nassau only 12. So hopefully most of these people will be restored tonight, but there's still a lot of outages upstate as well. A lot of trees down and flooding and just a big, big mess across the area. So let's go and look at our current conditions outside. Still mild out there, 45 degrees at Islip. It has dried out. We got a pretty gusty westerly wind, 15 gusting to 24. And let's go to our what the day was like at Islip and show you when that thing came through as well, that squall line. because that came through, and you can see when it came through, that's when they probably had their very strong wind gust. Let's see, it was probably around this time. Yep, right around this time. That's when we had the strongest winds. So right around midnight or so is when they started getting some of the strongest winds. And that squall line kind of took its time. You could see heavy rain for many, many hours there at Islip, many hours. And then after there was mist and drizzle until the westerly winds kicked in and started drying us out. So let's go look at the map, and we'll look at our highs and lows for the day. We still got breezy conditions outside right now, so let's do that. We'll go to our highs, lows, and we'll also look at the precipitation. Highs, well, got into the mid-50s, generally upper 50s in Ocean County, where it was even a little bit warmer there in southern New Jersey. Lows, obviously, the current temperatures, they're in the mid-40s. Let's look at precipitation now. This is where we're going to have our big numbers here, so let's do the 48-hour. I'll make sure I get all the precipitation here. So you get a map of all the rainfall that occurred here, and you can see here many areas of Long Island over 2 inches, most areas over 2 inches, some areas over 3 inches, and Suffolk County especially, some over 3. A lot of rain here, a lot of rain, incredible amounts of rain here. Going into Connecticut, you can see even the higher amounts here. There are your 3 and 4 inch amounts, the last places that need it, with all these rivers and the snowpack that's on the ground, that was on the ground. Northern Jersey also seeing some of these 3 to 4 inch amounts. Again, this is the amount of rain that you would have for a month in one night, and we got more coming. Another atmospheric river, like I said, is going to be coming for Friday night. You can see even some areas, Tom's River, getting over 3 inches as well with rain. So a lot of rain, a lot of. We've gotten notices from the Ocean County Parks Department that a lot of the trails are flooded and impassable in some of their parks because of this, and some fallen trees as well. So really a big mess, big mess. So yeah, let's go to the models now. We'll show you what's going to be happening as we head into the rest of this week here. So fair weather tomorrow, though there may be some clouds around due to some instability. We'll talk about that in a moment. High pressure, it will still be dry for Friday, but then here comes the next storm here, and it's going to be later Friday night, so most of your Friday should be dry. I think the rain doesn't start until later, like, say, after 10 o'clock or so. But here we go. Tight isobars under the strong low. Another deep low pressure system that's going to bring heavy winds and heavy rain for us in the overnight, and then it's finally out of here by Saturday. And behind that storm system, that's when we're going to start getting into that really cold air, the Arctic air that will be behind that system. So let's go look at the HRRR first. So here's the HRRR. Obviously, we're dry tomorrow. You see they're dry. Maybe a few sprinkles. There's going to be a little bit of an instability, a trough moving through late in the afternoon. And then for Friday, it may start off with sun and then the increasing high clouds ahead of our system, which doesn't look terribly impressive on the HRRR. But this is a ways off. And the HRRR that far out, we can't really count on. But you do see the isobars being very tight. So let's look at the dew points and wind flow. So here is the dew points and wind flow, and you can see westerly winds continue tomorrow. They lighten up a little bit, so it'll be a little less breezy. It'll become a little more southwesterly, and then they become, again, as we get to Friday, they become a little more northwesterly in the morning, and then go southeasterly as that low approaches. We'll go ahead and look at our temperatures. Tonight, probably not dropping that much, probably only dropping to the mid-30s. Tomorrow will probably be a little bit cooler than today, with highs in the mid-40s, mid to upper 40s. Tomorrow night, probably not going to drop back that much again, probably low to mid-30s. And then Friday, with the increasing clouds, Friday still mid-40s. All right, still mid-40s for Friday. Let's go to some longer range models here. We'll go to the GFS. Show you this storm. So you can see that warm surge coming up there. That's that warm surge that's going to come up with that storm. And then by Saturday, in the afternoon, will dry out. But still, we could see a lot of rain from this. So we will go ahead and look at the GFS as far as precipitation goes here. So I don't really want to get too much into it because we're going to talk more about this storm tomorrow night. I'm storm weary, you know. You can see how tight those isobars are. A lot of heavy rain again. I'm just looking at the GFS total accumulated precip here. Could be another 1 to 2 inches and possibly more in certain areas. Not quite as potent as the storm we just had, but it's still going to be bad. And we're going to have to see because we still don't have much of the short-range models in to tell us what the storm is going to be like. And tomorrow, we will. Tomorrow night, we'll have more models to work with. So that's why I don't really want to talk about it too much. But you can see the surge in humidity coming in. Here's your surge in humidity. So there's the surge of humidity coming in with this storm again. And that it looks like a pretty intense storm right there. We'll go ahead and look at the winds as well. The winds at the surface, again, pretty strong. See those reds over there? That's some pretty strong winds over there. And then if we go above the surface, there's your LLJ again. There's your bright purples again. Though it doesn't look quite as bad as this past one that we had. We can also look at the waves as well. We're going to see more of that coastal flooding again with this storm as well. With this, that's one way to look at it. Let's just briefly go over the skies here for a moment. Talk about them. Obviously, let's go looking at the RGEM here. So tomorrow we should have sunshine. The RGEM seems to think we'll be okay until later in the afternoon, where it pops up some clouds over us. And then Friday we'll have the increasing high clouds that will come in ahead of the storm. The storm hits us, and then later Saturday you can see there'll probably be a decent amount of clouds around still, but I'll talk about that more tomorrow night, I think. I could look at one other model with the skies. I really don't, but I'm just a little more concerned about the cloud. I've already looked at the HRRR as far as soundings go, so we can look at that. 17, which is like 1 o'clock. You'll start seeing these lines get closer and closer together, so I think we'll have some more stratocumulus toward the afternoon. But again, look at the satellite right now that we have. You still see a lot of cloudiness here, so we're going to have to see if sometimes the models just don't, they overestimate this, and these clouds just wind up hanging around, and we're just stuck with the deck all day, and that might happen. That's happened plenty of times already because of the cyclonic flow, because there's more moisture in the end of the models are, used to. So don't be surprised if it stays cloudy tomorrow. Hopefully not. Even though I'm just saying all the models could be wrong. We've seen this plenty of times before. So it's kind of looking at the satellite, it doesn't give me a high confidence. So get out of the way. Let's go to Event 2 Sky and talk a little more about the next storm. And like I said, I'm going to get more into detail more tomorrow night, I think, but we'll go ahead and look at it tonight here in the Event 2 Sky. All right, which is using the Icon model this far out. Wind gusts at 11 o'clock tomorrow and Friday night. Don't look terrible. This is 11 o'clock Friday night, but I think it gets worse later on. I think as you get towards, now it starts picking up. Gusts up to 44. Yeah, it gets worse as we head toward the later at night. Yeah, now we start to see some of those 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's not as bad as the last one. Oh, well, spoke too soon. See, it's still predicting an area of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts over Suffolk County perhaps at 5 in the morning Saturday. So, we still have to watch for this. Waves. This is the sea, the significant wave height. Not quite as crazy as the last one. But still up there. Go to windy.com. So I don't want to talk too much about it. I just want to give a little bit of an idea of what we're going to expect for Friday night. This doesn't look good. This is the European, and we're not even on wind gusts yet. This is 1 a.m. Friday morning. This doesn't look good. Gusting to 51. We're going to have some strong winds again. Look at that. There's a little belt of bright. That's 60-plus mile-an-hour winds. So don't be surprised. We're probably going to need another high wind warning again. Another high wind warning probably. And then if we look at the waves, you'll see that we're going to have those coastal impacts again. Looks pretty bad. So we're going to have more information for you tomorrow night on this next storm. But it doesn't look good. It may be just a teeny bit weaker than this one we just had, but it won't be by much. And so we got to go through it all over again. I'm definitely not happy about it at all. We'll go to the eastern U.S. view, and I just want to show you where the moisture is coming from this storm. So see, we have the drier air in place, but you see what happens. Here comes that really deep green again, and that's going all the way back to the tropics again, and then wrapping around the comet head where the cold air is. They're going to get tons of snow, but we're going to get just tons of rain and wind with this. That's what it looks like on the GFS. Here is the Euro. GFS seems to be a little more impressive with the moisture, but Again, this is what we're going to be expecting here. Another one of these storms. Absolutely incredible. So we've had a lot of widespread flooding and damage, and we're going to do it all over again. Friday night, Saturday morning, maybe a little less severe, but then again, the tide's going to be a little higher too. So absolutely incredible stuff we're seeing. And this is all, like I said, you've all been warned about this. We've all been told about what's going to happen, what's happening with our planet as we continue to pump greenhouse gas into the atmosphere like it's going out of style. And this is what you get here. And again, look at that. That's just incredible to see that we're going to do that again. That's just incredible. It really, really is. And if we look at the total accumulated precip, and I'm going to go back and we're going to look at this on the euro. Let's see what the euro has for total accumulated precip. Yeah, it's got a little closer to 2 inches there. That's the euro. We can go to the Canadian. That's the Canadian total accumulated precip. And Origin, which is the only short-range model we have. And you can see some pinks showing up. So 2 inches possible. This is, you're going to have the same issues that we had with the storm we just went through. I don't think the NAM 12 is going to take us far enough. Actually, the NAM 12 does take us far enough out. Now, the NAM 12 doesn't show anything too crazy with the rainfall, but it didn't with the last one either until we got closer to it. So let's go look at the radar. We'll look at the NAM 12. So again, the rain starts. It has it a little less intense on the rain, but we'll have to see how this all pans out. Because, again, if we look at the wind here, the surface winds, you'll see we're still going to deal with those winds. And if we go to the 850s, yep, there you go. You still got a very strong LLJ aloft with this. And, again, any shower or thunderstorm, as we saw last night when that swirl lane can come through. People tell me, why are you showing this? Because, yes, maybe the winds, a lot of the winds are only gusting to 40 to 50 generally, but then you could get one of these squall lines, they tap into these higher winds and bring them down to the surface. That's what we saw last night with that squall line that came through. And that squall line was something else. If you haven't seen that video that I took, it was, I was trying to be quiet, but I couldn't stop saying, oh, my God, because it was just so intense. It was so brief, but it was so intense during that brief time. Luckily, it moved on through, and it didn't hang around here for too long, because if it was slower, we probably would have lost power. Fortunately, it moved through pretty quickly. So enjoy these next couple of days of calm to dry out and clean up. And then we do it all over again Friday night. That's going to wrap it up. Oh, wait, one more thing I got to do before we end this, and just the climate statistics for today. Go to the climate statistics for islip. Rainfall 1.77. We are at we're at 1.43 of rainfall so far this month. That does not seem right. And we got 1.55. So there's okay, normal value, departure from normal. Where's the rainfall for the month though? Oh, month to date. Here it is. 2.49, 2.48. So we've already gotten 3.72 inches of rain this month at islip. That's incredible. And we were, look at this, 20 degrees above normal for the day. 20 degrees above normal. A high of 56, low of 47. That's incredible right there. The high was 17 degrees above normal. The low was 22 degrees above normal. Central Park, 19 degrees above normal for the day. High of 57, 17 degrees above normal. Central Park has seen only 1.43 inches of rain. No, that's the departure from normal. Month to date, 1.20. No, that's not right. Month to date is 2.63. This is confusing the way they have this. 2.63. I'm tired too, all right? So forgive me if I'm making mistakes. Central Park's already seen 2.63 inches of rain this month. Only January 10th. That's incredible right there. So we may be on track for our wettest January record, or one of our wettest anyway. Let's go to look at Bridgeport here because they got even more. Month to date, 2.49. I'm curious about some more of these inland sites. Let's look at Newark. Here, Newark was, oh my gosh. Take a look at this, folks. You want to be blown away. Newark was 33 degrees above normal today. 33 degrees above normal for the average temperature. That's absolutely incredible to see. No, I'm sorry, not 33. 21 degrees above normal. I'm making a lot of mistakes. Do apologize, but that's incredible. That's an incredible departure from normal. Really incredible. So, we're seeing some crazy, crazy things we've never seen before. It's like living in some kind of nightmare. But the nightmare, well, it's just getting started, and it's only going to get worse. So I'm going to wrap this video up now. Have a good night. We'll talk more about Friday night storm tomorrow night. Have a good night.